Hey everyone, my name's Chris Lambert, and on this channel we talk Kanye West, and today we are talking the fact that Mike Dean is back at his house and what that means, because there are going to be people wondering, is this good news, is it bad news, and there are going to be people saying this is good news, and there are going to be people saying this is bad news. So let's get into what this means and the context around it, because that's very important as well. So Mike Dean, a longtime collaborator with Kanye, known mostly for his engineering, right? Mixing and mastering albums. He's mixed and mastered every Kanye project except for 808s and Heartbreak. So that's how long these two go back. And also has writing credits, production credits. And then he goes all the way back to the 90s, working with a lot of the Houston artists, as well as in the present day, known for his collaborations with Travis Scott. He has the same kind of relationship with Travis as he has with Kanye, mixing and mastering all of Travis's albums, having writing credit, production credits. Mike's a legend, and he has been with Kanye over these last few weeks trying to finish this album. So the fact that he's home could have people saying like, oh, that must mean that the album's done. Mike got to go home kind of thing. But it could also mean that, oh, Kanye sent Mike home. Does that mean that he's going to scrap the album? Which you can already see people, I'm sure, going down that path. One of the concerning things is that Mike also tweeted, F this, and then deleted it immediately, which contextualizes this a little bit, right? Because this seems like something you say when you're fed up. Like, I am done, F this, I'm going home. You know how good it is to be back at my house? Which... yeah, and especially with this context here, he also tweeted and deleted, "Don't ask me about Utopia, Travis Scott's long-awaited album that we haven't had any updates on, or any other album's drop date. Ask the artist. I'm not the decision makers here." And with these three tweets, you can kind of start to get... you can start to presume what happened and make assumptions, presumptions, and that's complicated because we really don't know, but you can start to piece together something that it's kind of like Mike has been watching Kanye work on this project, might be saying, I think this is finished, why don't we just do this and it's done, and Kanye keeps wanting to do more and more, and they're having disagreements about this and this other thing, and finally it just reaches a certain point where Mike's like, F this, and goes home. And that's kind of the worst case scenario, right? That he's gotten so frustrated with the DONDA process that he just kind of left. The best case scenario is that they finished all the work and now it's just Kanye kind of doing the things that Kanye needs to do, any last minute tinkering, but he doesn't need Mike for any mixing or mastering, or at least doesn't need Mike in Atlanta anymore, that anything else that Mike can do, he can do from home. That's kind of the safe way of looking at it and the positive way of looking at it. And there's things that reinforce both. Like, these clearly start to reinforce the negative reading of things, that something happened between them in this process, Mike and Kanye, and Mike is currently unhappy and went home. But then we also have Mike having a show. Watch My Show stream next week will be a live stream for the folks around the world. And what he's referring to is this. Mike Dean, Synth God Live at the Echoplex, Saturday, August 21st, Sunday, August 22nd. So next week, Mike has a show at the Echoplex, I think in Los Angeles, I would presume. And he has to prepare for his own work, right? As much as he's like an engineer in the industry, he's also an artist known for his work on multiple instruments, but most notably the synths. So the fact that he has a show, I can imagine him just being like, I need to go like prepare for my own stuff. Like, I have my career. It's not just working on your album. So there's the potential that he just needed to go home to do this and might end up back in Atlanta, which is exactly what happened before. So the first listening party was July 22nd, July 23rd. You can see on July 29th that Mike was back in Los Angeles. This is him at his home pool. This was also on July 30th. So this was a few days before the August 5th listening party. And then Mike made it back to Atlanta and has been there for the last week, posting some funny things like the healing power of the sun. So rather than just being in the locker room all the time, ending up outside, which this actually doesn't look like the Atlanta landscape at all. This actually looks more like where Mike lives in Los Angeles, since I remember being in his backyard where this pool is. You can even see like a lot of the foliage and greenery. It's kind of backing up against the hill, like in a hillside. So it's possible that Mike has been home for more days than what anybody realizes, rather than being in the stadium still, which would mean that, you know, he's just kind of happy to be at the house. And that this has nothing to do with Kanye. You know, that's the really positive way of looking at it. But it is also just a neutral way of saying that Mike had to go back, prepare for a show in Los Angeles, and that he will be back in Atlanta to finish working on the album or do anything more with the album after his show. Like, we could see him back there at a moment's notice. But again, it's another thing where we just don't know which direction this is going to go and what it entails for the album. So, of course, as there's more information that comes out, we will continue to update you. We'll continue to bring the context that we can to the information and try to put it into perspective. But there's so much that we can only guess at the time being. And this is one of those situations. But that's it for this video. If you're enjoying the channel and you want to support us, the easiest way is to like, comment, or subscribe, as any of those things tell YouTube this is a channel people like, and then they show it to others, which goes a long way in helping us. So thank you to all of you who do that each and every video in terms of liking and commenting, and those of you who have already subscribed. That's it for now. Until next time, stay wavy and keep it loopy. Cheers.